Once upon a time, there was a king. His name was Hrothgar. He built a hall. It was a very nice hall. He named it Harald. So, this king of the Danes had everybody over once a week for nice parties and stuff. They'd celebrate, be very loud, go on forever. Unfortunately, there was a beast off in the woods. His name was Grendel. He didn't like this very much. So, he decided he was going to kill and eat most of the king's men. This happened for 12 years. And because Grendel had the strength of 30 men, and his skin was impenetrable by all swords, no one could kill him. Until one day, a mighty warrior Beowulf approached from across the sea and gave a long speech.
When I set out in my ship to cross the sea with my men, I intended once and for all to fulfill the dearest wish of your people, or to die trying fast in the grip of the fiend. I will either perform this heroic feat or breathe my last breath in this banqueting hall. I do not consider myself to be any less than a fighter in my strength, inexperienced to Grendel himself. So I will not kill him with the sword, although I could do it that way. That is not how I propose to rid him of his life. Grendel knows nothing of the art of cutting and thrusting, although his murderous exploits are bold enough. Tonight we will do it without weapons. If he really dares to risk a combat without them, in God his wisdom must reward their victory as he thinks right.
The king, of course, was ecstatic at this news, so he threw a wonderful party for Beowulf in his very nice hall. And everyone there was super excited to be allowed back in, not have to worry about getting eaten alive by giant hairy beasts in the middle of the night. All except for one very dashing, handsome young warrior, Unferth.
Yo, Beowulf, aren't you the dude that kind of like stinks at swimming and lost that big swim race against Brecca? Yeah, that's you, right?
Hey, how about you shut up? I killed a bunch of monsters, you coward.
Oh, okay,
After poor Unferth had his pride utterly crushed by our hero Beowulf, everyone went back to the feasting, celebrating like nothing had happened at all. And eventually, it didn't take very long, towards the end of the night, for all the Geats, except for Beowulf, to fall into a deep sleep, for they thought that they were perfectly safe and secure in the hall. But they could not have been more wrong.
Oh, Grendel! Oh! Oh my God.
Not going like on script.
In the morning, the king and all of his people returned to the hall to see Grendel's hideous, gruesome, horribly disfigured, and very hairy arm, with a very bloody claw covered in his own blood and the blood of his victim before Beowulf ripped it off, hung up on the wall of Harald. However, that is not a scene fit for children, so it was not included in this video. And then, of course, King Hrothgar gave a very long, very eloquent, and boring, excuse me, it was a very long speech.
Let thanks be at once offered to the Almighty for this sight. I have had to suffer much horror and distress at the hands of Grendel, yet God, who is King of glory, works miracle upon miracle. It was not too long ago that I gave up hope of seeing a cure for any of my troubles while this great building remained soaked in blood. If it was an unending grief to my counselors who gave up hope of ever rescuing the whole of my people from fiends and monsters. But now, through the power of the Lord, a man has performed the task which we were unable to accomplish before now with all our schemings. I tell you that the woman who bore such a son into the world may, if she is still living, declare that God was good to her in her childbearing. Now, Beowulf, best of men, I will cherish you in my heart as a son. From now on, keep to our new relationship. There will be no lack of the world's goods for you, from among what I possess. I have often given a reward for less, honored a less talented soldier, and a weaker fighter with my gifts. But by your deeds, you have established your fame forever. May God reward you with the good fortune as he has done up to now. Pleasure doing business with you, Beowulf.
After the king's speech, Beowulf, of course, being a very honorable hero himself, was also required to give a very long speech.
When we boldly took on the power of the unknown, we fought and accomplished our task with the greatest desire to be helpful. I only wish that you could see the demon himself killed in all of his trappings. I meant to pin Grendel quickly to his deathbed and so close to hold that, unless he wriggled his body loose. He must fight for the grip of my hand, but I could not prevent his escape. God was against this. Hard as I held my enemy, the fiend was too quick for me. However, he left his talon, arm, and shoulder behind, which saved his life and marked his trail. Though the shameful creature has not helped himself in the least by leaving it, the evildoers burdened with sins will not live any longer, because the wound has taken a fatal hold and bound on him with pain. The guilty wretch must now await for the last judgment and the sentence of the Almighty God.
And all was right in the world. Everyone is peaceful and happy and safe. Or so they thought.
No, we can't.
I've had such go quickly